Namaskara, dear colleagues. I want at first to thank to Svetlana and Nikolai for this opportunity to take part in this amazing conference. I'm very glad. In my speech, I will try to describe some regional features of the modern Ayurveda in South India. But I should mention that now I'm only in the start of my research, and I'm start on the field work regarding this topic. So all the results is like not incomplete results, and they will update it over time. Okay, let's start. Uh, Anthropologists distinguish Ayurveda as modern and global Ayurveda. And we can find modern Ayurveda in India and global Ayurveda is an umbrella term that unites health practices that were transferred from India to the Western world by professional Ayurvedic doctors and some followers of Indian culture. And global Ayurveda, sometimes also called as Ayur Yoga and New Age Ayurveda. Here you can see some quotations from the book about modern and global Ayurveda. I would not repeat, you just can read slides. So speaking about modern Ayurveda, it is very important for us to understand that traditional medicine does not mean medicine that does not change. Charles Leslie in the book Path to Asian Medical Knowledge mentions that medical systems of Asia are not something frozen or isolated from the influence of exogenous and endogenous factors. Permeability is the quality of traditional medicine. It is open to new knowledge and incorporates modern technologies and approaches. In India, modern Ayurveda is institutionalized and regulated by the Ministry of Ayush. Here you can see the slide from their website. COVID is a very actual topic now, so you can see that Ayush government also gives some recommendation about treatment for COVID or immunity boosting and food for coronavirus. So here you can see some objectives of Ministry of Ayush. I would not repeat, I just tell that according to the information from this website, by now the government has accredited 339 higher educational institutions, colleges, which provide bachelor's and master's program in Ayurveda. Colleges can be open only with governmental approval, with prior approval of infrastructure and curriculum. The curriculum and training program are also approved by Ministry of Ayush, and they all the same in the whole country in the all colleges of Ayurveda and other traditional medicine. But we can say that unification of educational process does not mean the unification of medical practice. Many Ayurvedic doctors are carriers of the knowledge from a continuous line of Ayurvedic doctors. Their fathers, grandfathers, and so on, they were Ayurvedic doctors long time before the system became institutionalized. So, in fact, they go to the colleges not for their knowledge. They go to the colleges for legalization of their practice, but they receive the main knowledge and practical experience from their parents, most often father or grandfather. On this slide, you can see from the left side, you can see Dr. Soni. He's a Ayurvedic doctor from the continuous line of Ayurvedic doctors from Rajasthan, from northwestern India. 3 years ago, I invited him. He visited Moscow. He had patients in Moscow. Also, he made some lectures for the doctors of Western medicine. And from the right side, you can see this guy in red t-shirt. It's his son. Now he is studying in Karnataka in the Hassan, in the Ayurvedic college. But when I was talking with both of them, they all say that they don't need any knowledge from this college. They don't need any knowledge from the books and everything what college can give to them, because Dr. Sonia told me that he will teach his son everything after college. But Aditya needs to have degree to work after that, to have his official private practice and to work in the governmental institution. That's important to bear in mind that Dr. Sonia sent Aditya to southern India to study southern Ayurveda, because as he told by himself that there are a lot of differences and he wants to spread their practice of their line of Ayurvedic doctors with some southern methods. Also, we should say about some village Ayurveda. On this photo, you can see from the left side, two men, they village doctors. Everyone call them Vaidyas, or also they call them Pandits, Ayurvedic Pandits. Actually, I should say that in my opinion, and after talking with men and them and made some field work, I can say that these people are not Ayurvedic doctors. If we will say it's in institutionalized way, they don't know theory of Ayurveda. They even don't know theory of tridosha. They don't understand what is Vata Pitta Kapha. Sangraha. This is the main concept of Ayurveda. But anyways, they say that they have more knowledge because their knowledge is practical. All they say that these people who are studying in the college, they don't know how to treat people because they just study in the college and they don't know how to use this information. Also, we have to understand, of course, these doctors, which so-called Ayurvedic doctors, and population of India thinks that they are Ayurvedic doctors. They have their own practice, and in different areas of India, this knowledge will be very, very different. It will depend from a lot of factors. We will discuss them later. So therefore, even though education and governmental work of Ayurvedic doctors are standardized, and nevertheless, the private practice of doctors and the practice of village doctors have regional features. I divided them into groups for now: academic and differences and cultural differences. Some of these features related directly to those Ayurveda that we can meet only in institutions, so-called academical Ayurveda. I am not sure that now this term can be correct, but all institutional Ayurveda, I will call now academical Ayurveda. If we will talk about this type of Ayurveda, which doctors receive from colleges, I can say that these differences, academical differences, are associated with authoritative literature, formulations, methods, and maybe something else. Maybe I will find it later. I give some space for future investigation. So, for example, according to the observation, doctors who studied in the North India most often relied on Samhitas, Sushruta and Charaka. So it's like a classical text, very full text that was written by Charaka, by Sushruta. And in Southern India, they use mostly compilations, like Ashtanga Sangraha, for example, it's most on the priority. Doctors of South India explain this by the fact that the compilations contain the most important information from the Samhitas and supplemented with new information and analysis. They say why we should read all the text if we can have compilations which also are very authoritative and people always use them. Why we need to know very well this classical text like Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, Kashyapa Samhita, and others? We don't need. Also, I should say that, of course, it's not all the doctors. Some of doctors, they use all the text, but mostly people with whom I was talking, it's around 30 doctors in South India, they say like this. Mostly they use compilations in their practice. Also, we should say about pharmaceutical formulations. They are very different in different areas. For example, in the North India, you can mostly meet some medical forms like powders. Here you can see even on this photo from the left side, the photo which I made in very, very small Ayurvedic hospital in North India between Sarnath and Bodh Gaya. They didn't have any other forms, only powders. From observation, I think that it's connected also with climate, because in that climate which we have in North India, these powders, they can save them for a long time, they can use them for a long time, it's more comfortable for them. But for example, in Southern India, mostly they use different types of decoctions. If you can also see them from the right side. It's in different liquid forms of medical, not only decoctions, also infusions and others. Also, we can meet a lot of differences in the methodology of work of doctors in different regions of Russia. For example, from the left side, you can see one picture from the Marma theory. Marma therapy, it's the therapy which mostly used in the Siddha medicine, which is popular in Tamil Nadu. But doctors in Southern India often use also Marma therapy. And sometimes they even don't know that it's not Ayurveda. Well, because when I was talking with one professor in SDM college in Ayurveda, and I told him, can you please show me something in Ayurvedic text about Marmas? He told me, no, in Ayurveda, we don't have Marmas. Marmas we have only in Siddha medicine. But some doctors, as I told before from this continuous line, they don't know because their father used this, their grandfather used this Marma therapy. They even don't know that Marma therapy not Ayurveda. Second difference, for example, which I met, it's in using of some oils or decoctions on different. For example, on the right side, you can see one procedure. It's called Shirodhara. And usually in South India, for Shirodhara, they use oil, because Shirodhara is made to make you cold. And in South India, the climate is very hot and oil can make you more cold. But in Northern India, climate is very different. So sometimes for Shirodhara, they use different types of decoctions. They make these decoctions from different herbs. It depends from the patient. And also we need to understand that in South and Northern India, okay, it's all India, but different plants are growing in northern and southern India. Moreover, these plants contain different biological active compounds. For example, it will be maybe one plant, but quantity and quality of biological active compounds in the same plant from north and from south can be very different. That's why Ayurvedic doctors always change their practice. If northern doctor will come to the south, he will change his practice immediately because he could not find the same herbs, for example, which he can find in North India. We were talking about academical Ayurveda, and we'll talk about some cultural differences which are not connected with institution, with books or other. So here you can see I found some religious differences and some borrowings for the practice from other medicines. And what about religion? Actually, it was very big surprise for me because before I came to the South India, I was working only in the North India. And all Ayurvedic doctors whom I met there, they were Hindu doctors. Moreover, they were very, very orthodox Hindu doctors. They had a lot of festivals. They all prayed to Dhanvantari and to other gods which are connected with Ayurveda. For them, their Hindu religion was very extremely important. When I came to the South India, I was very surprised because I met doctors of different religions. And it was a big surprise for me because at first I could not even understand how they can combine their religion or their atheism with their practice. But after that, I started to think that maybe the center of Ayurveda in southern India is Kerala. As all we know, Kerala is a communist state. Here you can see pictures from Kerala. It's nowadays pictures. Also, I was talking with some people from the Communist Party of Kerala, of Mysore also, and I discussed with them that topic. So, in an interview, representatives of the Communist Party said that communist ideology, which was spread even in the closed Muslim communities of Kerala, was able to reconcile ideology of war and confrontation on religious grounds. It was very, very important thing for them. On this photo, you can see different doctors. We'll start from the left side. From left side, you can see two doctors. One of them, Dr. Elias. He is Christian, Orthodox Christian. He belongs to Syrian Orthodox Church. He is living in Kerala. Second person, his name is Shibu Isaac. He finished also college in Hassan, which I was mentioned before. This doctor, he is a Catholic. In the center, you can see Dr. Naushad. Dr. Naushad, for a long time living in Russia, he has his own clinic at Rhea. He is Muslim. He is also from Kerala. And all these doctors, they are amazing doctors. They are very famous doctors in India. They have a lot of patients. Dr. Naushad, for example, he has very good history in Russia, has a lot of patients whom he helped. And last photo you can see here, this photo was made in Aryavadya Sala Institute. And from the right side, you see one doctor. It's Dr. Dinesh. He's a communist. So he belongs to atheistic ideas. Of course, I can also put some Hindu doctors, but in this slide, I wanted just to show you how many different religions can we meet in Ayurvedic hospitals. It's a very big difference as for my field work, it's a very big difference with, for example, North India. And the last thing about which I want to tell you, it's about borrowings. Actually, borrowings, it's mostly ethnopharmacological topic. Already I told you about marma therapy, that in Southern Ayurveda, we can meet a lot of Ayurvedic doctors who use marmas, poems, in their practice, but we know that this theory in the classical Ayurveda, it was borrowing from the Siddha medicine. If we will go to the North India, there we can see a lot of changings and borrowings with Tibetan medicine. But mostly all these borrowings, they are connected with using of herbal plants. On this slide, you can see, for example, during my field work, I collected several plants which doctors use in their practice, and which they can collect in my area near Mysore, in the place called Kollegal. By the way, Kollegal is the center of black magic in Karnataka. So you can see here on the slide, there is one plant. It's simple jasmine. We all know this jasmine. In Tamil, this jasmine in Tamil medicine in Siddha, it will called Maligai ili Malikaipu. And all Vaidyas from village, they name this plant in this word. They say Maligai or Malikaipo. They don't use a Kannada word for this. They use only Tamil word. You can see that in Kannada it will be Dundu Malige. In Sanskrit, it will be how it used in Ayurveda. It will be Malikanava. But these doctors, they don't use, and they don't understand even that it's Tamil words. They said, when I asked them, from where you know this plant, they said, one doctor from Tamil Nadu, they told me about it. But they don't try to analyze that this plant may be not used in Ayurveda or used in different way. Actually, they use this jasmine in both ways, like they use in Tamil medicine, because in Tamil medicine it's used for bleedings, for women bleedings, and in Ayurveda it's used for very in different combination in different types of diseases. But also, what is most interesting for me, because I like ethnopharmacology very much, that in Tamil medicine they use only leaves of this jasmine. But in Ayurveda, they use all parts of the plant. And these doctors, they use all parts of the plant, but they try to treat by all plants of the plant these bleedings which used in Tamil medicine. So you understand, they mix all. They mix to medicine and they try to use this plant without any distance between Ayurveda and Tamil medicine. So also we collected maybe 20 plants, but it's the topic of further ethnopharmacological investigation, because there are a lot of plants which I can't now find in Ayurveda. I hope that I will find them in other medicines. I don't know if it will be in Siddha medicine or in other medicines, but they use everything and they take their information from everyone. That's why their practice become very, very specific for this area, for this region. So we can note, now I will finish already, that we can note a number of regional features of South Indian Ayurveda. This is very important, given the fact that modernity dictates a general unification and standardization of medical practice. But one of the most important principles of traditional medicine is personalization. Therefore, despite the requirements of modernity, Ayurveda still remains its originality, and even though it has been institutionalized, it has features that cannot be unified. Obviously, I will make deeper study and will find more differences and more specific features of South Indian Ayurveda. Here is just one thing which unites all doctors, even if they are not Hindu. All doctors of Ayurveda know Dhanvantari mantra. That's why I decided to finish my speech with this. So thank you so much. We'll be very glad to answer your questions. Thank you.